I am the first to go to college and my brothers and sisters, but I'm proud to say that my older sister, Kimberly Boone, is here, and she is actually enrolled in Trinity University as she is obtaining her bachelor's degree. So I just like to say thank you. And I just want to give you a quote before I go into a little deep. It seems so obvious, but I can only help but think about how my life has been shaped by the people in it. The simplest and the grandest acts of kindness and cruelty, love and hate, selfishness, generosity by people whom I know well and by many I have never met. All I have left is their marks. Friends, families, colleagues, students, and strangers all have played a part in making me who I am, simply by who they were. This is a quote that was taken by one of my mentors, Mr. Tim King, as he reflected on the life of a gentleman by the name of Robert Houderney. Robert Houderney was a social justice teacher at Archbishop Carol High School who was tragically killed in 1996. He was tragically killed, struck down, and he left the mark of social justice teaching on the lives of students of Archbishop Carol High School, which laid the foundation for me and understanding who I am and what I am about. I would love to stand here and say that my whole life I was all about, social justice. I would love to stand here and say that, this somewhat put together gentleman that stands before you is always been the case long ago. That's not the case. When I see friends and family and I tell them what I do, I'm a principal, most of them laugh. Most of them say, "You, really? The guy who liked the 4th grade so much he did it twice? That guy?" Yes, this guy. I'm the principal. Yes, okay. All right, laugh at me all you want. Yeah, I know, but we went to Jamestown and I went twice. No, anyways, I told that story earlier. But anyway, I want you to understand that today's presentation is about social justice teaching and how it has impacted me to give back to others. I mentioned, Father Joseph Del Vecchio as one of the names that I spoke about. The church has always been important to me in many ways. It shaped me in who I am. The Catholic Church has really helped me become a better person. So I was able to play baseball, which is one of my loves, and I actually played baseball at Temple University, but that love came from church. That love came because Father Joe, who is my mentor, confirmation sponsor, loved the New York Yankees. And I wanted to be a part of what Father Joe was a part of. I wanted to be like Father Joe. I wanted to be a baseball-loving guy, and I even contemplated thinking about being a priest. Then I got my first girlfriend, and then all that went out the window. But I thought about it. I really did. I really did. And my family would say, yeah, he's going to be a priest. They all thought, yeah, he's going to be Little Father Joe is what they used to call me. But anyway, so my love of baseball, my love of performing and being in front, I was an altar server, a lecturer, I was singing in the choir, all of those things came through church. But not only church, as I said, I mentioned I wasn't a scholarly kid. I went to public school, and in elementary school, some of the blessings that some students don't realize, but we were bused. I lived in Sea Pleasant, grew up in Sea Pleasant, Maryland. We were bused to Bowie. Ironically, that's where I live now. We were bused 30 minutes down Central Avenue every day into an environment that I was not used to, I was not comfortable with. My classmates, that rode the bus with me were all African American, and we were bused to an all-white school. So again, you form your little circles, you form your little, your inner circles, and you try to stay together, and, people judge you. I mean, it's sad to say, but, people do it now. They judge you on who they think you are. There was a teacher by the name of Susan Kennedy, who I mentioned earlier, who was my chorus teacher. Again, I love chorus. I love to sing. I love to perform. Give me a microphone and it's on. But she believed in me when sometimes I didn't believe in myself. She would helped me through difficult times when not necessarily I couldn't do the work, I just didn't do the work. You know, she made sure that she kept giving me the message that you can do this. So again, pushing from church, pushing from school, pushing from home, all shaped me to who I am today. So Miss Kennedy tells me the story, and this is when I graduated high school. She tells me the story about a conversation she had in the teacher's workroom when I was in the 5th grade. And one of the teachers said, I don't know why you waste your time with him. He's not going to amount to anything. And I remember her telling me that as I graduated, and this was as I was getting ready to go to college, as I was getting ready to go to Temple University. She tells me this story. And it was kind of, she told me with tearful eyes because she really wanted me to understand that people had counted me out. But she was not going to give up on me. I mean, I'm still in contact with her today. She substituted my daughter's class a couple of years ago, and it was the biggest joy of her life. But that was something that kind of left an impression upon me. So I don't want to, I mean, I could probably stand here all day and take you through every year of elementary and middle school, but I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I think this is important to know who I am so you can understand why I do what I do. Going to Catholic high school was afforded to me through the Catholic charity, through the Catholic charities. I was able to go to Archbishop Carol on a full scholarship because my grandmother petitioned Father Joe to find resources for me. So Catholic Charities was able to, you know, through, and Monsignor Ensler, Father John at the time, was very instrumental in helping me get a scholarship and afford it because we couldn't afford to, I couldn't afford to go to Catholic school. My older sister and brother, they went to public school, they went to Duval, they graduated and they did very well. My sister went into the workforce, my brother went into the military and became a family man. And I was afforded that opportunity to go to college. So I volunteered at Freedom Theater, which is one of the oldest African-American theaters in Philadelphia. I volunteered at Freedom Theater on the weekends, and I started working with these young people. And I'm like, wow, this is fun. I enjoy this. Okay. So I really decided that this is what I wanted to do. So that summer, I applied for a summer job at a place called St. Vincent's Children's Home, which is in Philadelphia, and it was a transitional home for young students who were taken away from their parents for a period of 90 days. They would come to this home, and they would live there, and they would have activities, school, and everything for them. So I was a camp counselor. I was in charge of the theater program, of the camp counselor, and I was able to work with the young people and understand and really got to know them deep inside. And I kept seeing myself in these young people. I kept seeing they're just like me. I could have been in a transitional home if it wasn't for the strength of family and friends and loved ones. This could have been me. I want to teach. I want to teach. I want to teach. I want to teach. So, again, I'm playing baseball, I'm doing all these things, I'm doing theater, I'm doing all these extra things, and then I go, and also I'm having a little fun because I'm in college. I go to the School of Education and I say, hey, I want to change my major. So they say, well, you got to talk to your advisor. Advisor, I want to change to education. And they say, well, if you change your major, you won't be eligible to play baseball because you'll lose credits. I guess I'll be a theater major, and I'll see you guys later on. They said, well, I asked, what can I do? I do want to do this, but what can I do? So I took up a concentration in education. For those who don't understand what that means, because I have to explain it all the time, a lot of my courses, my focus was in education. So I did my student teaching, I did all of those things, but my major was theater with a concentration in education. So I did that, and then I decided, okay, fast forward again, what are you going to do with your life, young man? You now are a senior, you get ready to go into the world. What are you going to do? You love kids, okay, you want to teach, but you still like to act. So how about applying for a fellowship program? So I applied for the fellowship program at Arena Stage, and when I graduated, and unfortunately I didn't get it. So then I applied for because Father Joe was still in my corner, he said, well, how about doing a volunteer program with the Josephites? Okay, I'll do that. I'll give 2 years of my life of service, and I'll go to New Orleans and I'll teach. And then I got a phone call from my alma mater. Archbishop Carol called and said, hey, the principal at the time, he was the new principal, Mr. Jim Mumford. He was my English teacher, my drama director. He said, hey, listen, Larry, I know you're graduating. I want you to come and I want you to take over the theater department and I want you to be the attendance officer. You'll make $22,000 a year and it will get you started. So I said, okay. New Orleans stipend. I think it was like $150 a month. $22,000. Now, I was 22 years old, $22,000. I thought it made sense, right? So I came home. And I decided that this is what I wanted to do. I'm going to work at Archbishop Carol. I'm going to teach. I'm going to direct all the things I love. I'm going to fast forward again because working at Archbishop Carol, as a young man, it was very inspiring to me to be able to do social justice and work through social justice teaching. As I said, Robert Houdini was instrumental in helping me understand and give back to others. We worked in soup kitchens. We went out. We understood the importance of not just walking over homeless people, but helping them, giving them a handout. Those things were instilled upon me in high school. So now I'm back at this place where all of these things are happening. And I decided that this is what I need to do. A lot of my friends were saying, well, hey, the public schools are paying you more. Why don't you come on over to public school? Like, something's missing there. Something's missing there. I'm able to do all I can in giving glory and honor to God. And that was something that really spoke to me. So working at Archbishop Carol for 14 years, I directed school plays, and some of my former students are here who were in my plays, and so I'm so happy to see them. We had a great time, and it was a fun ride, and people thought you would never leave Archbishop Carol. This is where you will be for the rest of your life, and I thought that, but God had another plan for me. So I'm now the dean of students, and I have friends and family, and my wife, fiance at the time, she's getting into education, and she's going to get her master's, and I'm like, I'm not going back to school. I'm done. So I had one of my former teachers who went through the Trinity program, and he said, Larry, this is what you need to do. You need to get your credentials. Because you're an administrator, but you need to get your credentials. So I enrolled in Trinity University. Once my wife completed, I then said, okay, you do it, I'll do it. So I was able to enroll in Trinity University, and I obtained my master's. So I sat on my master's. I sat on my master's for a few years, and I said, God, what do you want me to do? I'm just going to be at Carol. I'll wait till, the principal here retires, and then they'll just grandfather me in, and I'll be the principal of Carol, and I'll be that career person that had never left Archbishop Carol. Again, God had a different plan for me. There was a gentleman by the name of Dr. David Stouffer who said, Larry, it's time for you to leave the nest. What do you mean? You need to go out here and find what you need to do. But God had a plan once again. So they tell me that Archbishop Carol, I give a call to Dr. Stouffer, say, hey, Dr. Stouffer, my school is going to close. What am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And he says, come back to Carol. Come back home. Sounds good to me. I'm going back to Carol. But then the superintendent calls me and said, there's an opportunity, Larry, that I want you to look at. It's called Don Bosco Cristo High School in Tacoma Park. And I say, well, I don't want to work there. That's competition for Carol. I don't, it's Archdiocese school. I don't want to go there. It's taking money from Archbishop Carol. I'm not going to that school. No. He said, Larry, you're going to meet with Father Steve Shaffer. If you say so. So I called my wife and I said, they want me to go meet with this Father Steve guy. I don't want to meet with him. And she said, no, you need to go meet with him. I said, I'm going to go, but I'm not even going to take my resume. I'm just going to go. I'm not taking my resume. I'm just going to listen to what he has to say. I'm going back home to Carol. And I go to the meeting, and I'm walking around, and I'm being a real real jerk about it too. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is nice. Oh, nice building. Okay, students. I'm seeing people that I know. Oh, hey, Larry Savoy. All right. So we go back to his office, and he starts to tell me about the program. And let me just share about Don Bosco Cristo Rey. Don Bosco Cristo Rey Catholic High School was established. It's in its 7th year of existence. Our school is geared toward low-income students who have the desire to go to college, not only go to college, but to graduate from college, but don't have the financial resources to obtain that, to go. Because as we know, the Catholic education is expensive. The cheapest Catholic education, the cheapest Catholic school education in this area is $14,000. Don Bosco is geared toward those students who can't afford that, but still have the desire, ambition, the wherewithal to get there. The way that we're able to do that, the way that the school is able to provide this opportunity is through a corporate work study program. So not only does our students have the opportunity to go to a college preparatory school, they also get the opportunity to work in corporate America 5 days a month to get that experience that would enhance the college process. And here's the best part. The cost of education to educate a student is $13,000 at Don Bosco Cristo Rey. Our family's contribution, the most a family will pay is $2,500. The lowest they will pay is $700. It's based on the free and reduced information. So again, it's not about color, it's not about anything, it's about the opportunity to help, to give back. So I'm hearing all of this and I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Father Steve said one thing to me and it changed my life. He said to me, he said, Larry, I don't want my students' children coming to this school. What are you talking about? You know, I'm thinking to myself, here I'm coming from Archbishop Carol, 60 years of tradition, and, I go to the football games, and I wear my alumni jackets, and all those other things. Well, what are you talking about? You don't want your children, your students' children coming to this school. Then he goes on to say, if my students' children are coming to this school, that means we didn't do something right. The cycle of poverty has not changed. Changed my life. I don't know if I ran out the door, because I left my resume in the car because my wife made me take it. I don't know if I ran. I don't know what I told him. I need to go to the bathroom or something, but I left his office, went to my car, grabbed the folder, walked back in and said, Father Steve, I want to apply to Don Bosco Cristo Rey. I want to be the principal of this school. This is where I need to be. I think I called my wife and said, I found what I've been looking for. This is what it's all about. When I speak to my students, I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to my family members. I'm speaking to my family members who are still in that cycle of poverty, who are too lazy or shiftless to get out of that. I'm working for them. I'm working to inspire my students to continue the cycle, to move forward, to help our society. This is what it's all about. My life means nothing if I can't help someone else. Because God has blessed me in so many ways and has put so many people in my life to say, you know what? Here's a hand up. Not a hand out, but a hand up. This is going to prepare you for your tomorrow. This is going to prepare you for this moment to help someone else. So when I think about the gifts that God has given me to promote social justice, I think about that moment when Father Steve told me, I don't want my students' children coming to this school. That was a defining moment for me. That is something that I mean, and I think that's his catchphrase. I think he gets everybody with that. I think he's cornered that phrase. But again, it is so powerful and so true. in order for us to change the past, in order for us to change the path and the path that we're trying to help our students, we have to make a difference. We have to be able to say, I'm going to do something that's outside the box, that nobody else understands, but it makes sense to me. And I'm blessed to have a wife that supports me in that. You know, she's a principal as well in the public sector, and we laugh and joke all the time. You can make so much money if you went to the public schools. And I tell her, and she shakes her head, and I love her for even supporting me on this. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. You know, we all want to have a little cash in our pocket, yes. We all want the finer things in life. But I get the rewards when I see students such as this sitting here, smiling. Because that means a lot to me. That means that we made a difference. That they would take their time today to come to see me, to speak with me. And I can tell you some stories, huh, Ms. Brown? I can tell you some stories, can I? This is rewarding for me. This is what social teaching and justice is all about. This is what makes my life complete. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, eventually I won't venture to the public sector. I don't know what the future holds. But God has prepared me for this moment. He's prepared me for now. And I got to make the best of it right now. I got to give my all to the students of Don Bosco Cristo who deserve a better opportunity.